And I just could so imagine you walking the streets of Rome going, I'm going to tell this story. Do you know what I mean? Like, is there something about falling in love with a location, as it were, for your novels that also then you think, oh no, I want to tell this. I want to inhabit this place myself in my imagination and then tell an amazing story out of it. How much does that sort of inform the stories that you tell as well?
Yeah, it's funny you should say that about Rome, actually, because I wrote that novel during lockdown. So actually, my cunning plans to go to Rome and spend a lot of time walking the streets were thwarted. And I did get to go to Rome in the end, but a lot of the initial research I had to do was, in books and YouTube videos and maps. But yes, setting is a very important part of the novel for me, and it's kind of integral to the atmosphere. And of course, atmosphere is an essential part of Gothic fiction. You've got to have the setting that immerses your reader within it, and creates a world in which they think anything might be able to happen. So yes, I've chosen locations, and then I've made them. Then I found something within them that really speaks to me. So the Paris of the 18th century. We often think of Paris of that time. We think of Versailles. We think of opulence and beauty and art. But in fact, it was, a city. There was beauty and there was incredible art, but there was also desperate poverty and filth, and there were no pavements. And Versailles itself, in fact, stank. And it was, the people looked beautiful, but they didn't bathe. There were no toilets. So I sort of grew my own Paris out of that. That is, true to the historical era, but is also emphasizing the parts of Paris that I wanted to have as part of my novel. And that is the Paris of the rich and poor, and the valueless and the valued, and the dark and the light. So yes, I guess setting is very important to me. And when I wrote The House of Whispers, when I originally had the idea for that novel, I wasn't sure whether I was going to set it in fascist Italy or Nazi Germany. And I decided on fascist Italy, partly because I speak Italian and I don't speak German, so it made the research easier, but partly because we feel like we've read a lot about Nazi Germany. We've seen a lot of movies, we've read a lot of books about it, whereas fascist Italy is less known, even, to be honest, to Italians. I had an entertaining time researching things and telling my dad, and him then outright denying those things happened. So yeah, and
so is it a mother tongue or a father tongue in this case?
It's my father tongue. He didn't teach me, unfortunately, when I was young, but I sort of taught myself to an extent when I was older. So at least I can speak enough of it to be able to do some research. But yeah, so then Rome, my research on Rome, I guess I found things within my research that A, fascinated, but B, helped me create the world that was going to become a very frightening place for even my protagonist. So it's a world in which, yes, fascism is rising, and it's the era in which the race laws are being brought in. Mussolini's cozying up with Hitler and trying to emulate what's going on in Germany. So for anyone who's not considered an Italian, it's an increasingly frightening place. And it's not just, not just things that are appearing in the news, but there are banners everywhere. There's, the black shirts walking the streets. There's the music, which is very much nationalistic. So, yes, I guess in each novel, I'm trying to build up an atmosphere in which the reader can be immersed, as we are in all historical fiction, really. We're all, that is the point, isn't it? We want the reader to feel like they're there and feel like they're experiencing the story with our characters. But of course, when you're writing something that's sort of supposed to be creepy and Gothic tinged, then the atmosphere is even more important, I think.
Thanks for watching this clip from the History Quill podcast, all about writing and publishing historical fiction. If you want to find out more about the topics discussed, check the description for a link to the full episode and the episode page on our website, where you can access a range of relevant resources. You can also join our email list to receive new podcast episodes and more content for historical fiction writers. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and switch on notifications.